Well, Malaysia and Sweden have agreed to continue joint efforts to combat Islamophobia and any other form of discrimination. Now, Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Religious Affairs, Dr. Muhammad Naim Mokhtar, said this was among the matters agreed upon in his meeting with Sweden's ambassador to Malaysia, Dr. Joachim Bergstrom, on Friday, following the recent incident involving the burning of a copy of the Quran in Sweden. Well, Dr. Muhammad Naim also repeated Prime Minister Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim's stance of Malaysia's condemning the action, in addition to urging the Swedish government to take necessary measures and action against the perpetrators. Well, he said such action was important to ensure the vile acts did not recur, while considering that freedom of speech did not mean freedom to insult the principles and dignity of a religion. Bergstrom also said that the Swedish government will increase efforts to curb Islamophobia, racism and discrimination through various policies and initiatives in strengthening democracy. The Swedish government will join hands at the national and international levels in organizing interfaith dialogue and promoting peace among various races. Well, Malaysia and Singapore has reiterated commitment towards reinforcing bilateral ties in personal data protection, cybersecurity and digital economy. The commitment was expressed in a joint committee meeting between both countries yesterday. Now, the meeting was jointly chaired by Secretary General of the Malaysian Ministry of Communications and Digital, Dato Sri Muhammad Mentek, and the Permanent Secretary of Ministry of Communications and Information of Singapore, Joseph Leong. Now, both sides shared the view that the rising uptake of digital technologies during the pandemic demonstrates an opportunity to bolster digital economies and improve corporate and individual connectivity. Malaysia and Singapore also recognized the joint meeting as a platform to increase bilateral efforts to manage major challenges and facilitate economic recovery in the post-COVID-19 era. Well, the next joint meeting will be hosted by Singapore in the year 2024. Well, stern action awaits employers who dismiss local workers in order to replace them with foreign nationals. Now, Human Resources Minister V. Sivakumar said the rationale behind the government's foreign work employment relaxation plan was not to replace locals with foreign workers, but rather to meet manpower needs in 5 critical sectors.
Kita memang prihatin kepada pekerja-pekerja tempatan, dan kalau betul mana-mana majikan menggunakan ini sebagai satu alasan untuk memberhentikan pekerja-pekerja tempatan, tindakan tegas akan diambil terhadap mereka.
Well, several non-governmental organizations or NGOs have previously claimed that local workers in critical sectors such as manufacturing, construction, plantations, agriculture and services in restaurants have been laid off to be replaced by foreign workers. The Foreign Worker Management Special Meeting chaired by Prime Minister Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim on 10th January agreed to create a relaxation of employment of foreign workers plan. The Education Ministry, KPM, views seriously on safety issues involving teachers and students and will not compromise on the matter. Minister Fadlina Sidek said this when commenting on an incident in which a jetty collapsed in Pulau Sepabag, Semporna, Sabah recently.
Sebenarnya ada data itu semua. Tapi yang saya nak tegaskan hari ini adalah keselamatan, isu keselamatan, dan saya minta semua pihak juga termasuk media untuk melakukan sama-sama dengan KPM advokasi tentang keselamatan ini. Satu, bahawa isu keselamatan ini kita tidak kompromi, baik guru maupun anak murid. Jadi jaket keselamatan ini sebenarnya sudah disediakan oleh KPM dan mesti digunakan. Dan advokasi ini juga mesti berlaku di kalangan ibu bapa untuk memastikan anak-anak mereka pergi ke sekolah dengan selamat.
Well, she said this after officiating the National Union of the Teaching Profession, or NUTP, 2023 seminar at the federal capital. Fadlina also wants action to be immediately taken and for all parties to play their respective roles in propagating safety measures agenda, especially the wearing of life jackets. Well, a forest encroachment in the form of illegal logging, which was detected in 4 areas around the Hulu Gombak and Serindah Forest Reserve, Selangor, has been managed by authorities last December. Menteri Besar Datuk Seri Amiruddin Syari said the location is an area which was gazetted for the East Coast Railway Line, or ECRL.
Hal itu telah ditangani pada Disember tahun lepas dan pemberhentian terhadap aktiviti itu telah dibuat dan kita kenal pasti itu adalah sebahagian daripada urusan ECRL dan itu memang kawasan yang telah digazetkan untuk laluan mereka, cuma kebenaran mereka buat tak dibuat pada masa itu, kita dah hentikan pada Disember. Yang dipaparkan tu mungkin gambar lama ataupun gambar baru bekas tinggalan tersebut.
He further explained that the encroachments involve a part of the entry point of the ECRL project to make a tunnel from Gombak to Serindah. The activity was exposed by environmental non-governmental organisation, or NGO, Rimba Disclosure Project. Coming up next, Malaysia poised to become automotive hub for ASEAN market. Well, free shuttle bus services from KL Central to the Parliament building will be provided for members of Parliament and Parliament staff during the next Parliament session. Transport Minister Anthony Loke Sufuk said the free shuttle service also extends to media practitioners as well.
Saya amat berharap bahawa ia dapat dilaksanakan dalam sidang ini. Saya telah menyatakan hasrat ini kepada speaker secara terasmi dan beliau amat bersetuju dengan cadangan ini, dan kita telah minta pihak prasarana untuk menyediakan bas rapid KL, dan bas yang kita akan gunakan ini bas yang pendek, bukan bas panjang, jadi memudahkan supaya ia boleh sampai ke kawasan-kawasan dalaman di Parlimen, di pekarangan Parlimen.
Well, Loke said further discussions would be held with the Parliament's administration to ensure that the security is not compromised and straighten out the coordination aspect to enter the Parliament area by using a permanent pass. The operation times of the shuttle bus will follow the schedule of parliamentary sittings, and the frequency will also depend on demand. The Dewan Rakyat sitting is scheduled to start on 13th February. Well, Malaysia has the potential to become the automotive hub for the ASEAN market. International Trade and Industry Minister Tengku Datuk Seri Zafrul Tengku Abdul Aziz said this prospect has attracted investors in car companies such as Porsche, Kia, Hyundai, Mini Cooper, Mazda and BMW to start their respective operations in Malaysia. Now, through a posting on his official Facebook page, Tengku Datuk Seri Zafrul said Southeast Asia offers good growth potential and with policies as well as good ecosystem, and Malaysia can become an automotive hub for the ASEAN market. The minister also shared several photos of his visit to car assembler Inocom Corporation Sendirian Berhad in Kulim. He explained that many local residents who are skillful are working at the company, and the government will focus on technical and vocational education and training, or TVET, to enable more people in the country to increase their respective skills. Tengku Datuk Seri Zafrul said in the long run, this will be beneficial for investment and industry growth in the country. Well, foreign ministers of ASEAN member countries yesterday welcomed the participation of Timor-Leste for the first time as an observer in the 32nd ASEAN Coordinating Council, or ACC, meeting. Well, Foreign Minister Dr. Zamri Abdul Kadir said Timor-Leste representatives can now attend ASEAN-level meeting series until an official consensus decision is made to accept the country as a full member of ASEAN. Well, this is in line with the decision made by member countries during the 40th ASEAN member held in Cambodia last November. During the meeting, Datuk Seri Dr. Zamri said Indonesia, as the ASEAN 2023 chairman, tabled the priorities and agenda with the theme ASEAN Matters, Epicentrum of Growth. Well, he also said Indonesia wanted to make ASEAN as a global development center at the regional and global level, with emphasis towards blue economy in utilizing marine resources in a sustainable manner for economic growth. Now, the issue regarding Myanmar is also discussed in the meeting, where ASEAN remains true to the 5-point consensus of 5PC to help the country. In our foreign segment, Indian police arrest 2,000 men in underage marriage crackdown. Well, U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland announced the first transfer of forfeited assets from sanctions against a Russian oligarch on Friday during an appearance with Ukrainian Prosecutor General Andrei Kostin at the Justice Department. The $5.4 million forfeited funds, according to Garland, will go toward aiding Ukraine. Now, in June last year, millions were seized from a U.S. bank account belonging to Konstantin Malofeyev, whom the United States announced sanctions against in April, quote, for having acted or purported to act for or on behalf of directly or indirectly, unquote, the Russian government, the Treasury Department said at the time. Well, Kostin echoed Garland's statement on Friday, adding that the two countries were sending a clear message that there will be no immunity and impunity for international crimes. Now, the ruling by U.S. District Judge Paul Gerdeffi in Manhattan Federal Court marked the first forfeiture order for a Russian oligarch's assets since the Department of Justice in 2022 launched a task force aimed at squeezing the finances of Russian President Vladimir Putin's allies in response to the Ukraine invasion. Well, Chile has declared a state of disaster in several central southern regions after a devastating heat wave provoked forest fires that left at least 4 people dead. Now, authorities on Friday said more than 100 homes have been affected and 29,000 hectares of forest destroyed since the fires broke out on Wednesday. The government has declared a state of disaster in the regions of Nubel and Bayo-Bayo, but fires have also affected the regions of Mole and La Araucanía. Now, President Gabriel Boric decided to suspend his holidays to visit the affected area, where there are 178 active fires. Now, of those, 39 are out of control. Interior Minister Carolina Toja said 2 of the dead were killed when the fires engulfed the road they were traveling on, while the other 2 died in a car accident, presumably while trying to escape the inferno. The SNAPRED National Disaster Prevention and Response Service and the CONAF National Forest Corporation said 9 people have been hurt, including 8 firefighters. Some 2,300 firefighters and 75 aircraft are involved in the battle against the flames. The heat wave, with temperatures touching 40 degrees Celsius, has created fears of a repeat of the 2017 disaster, in which widespread fires in the same region left 11 people dead, destroyed 1,500 homes, and affected 467,000 hectares of forest. Well, police in Assam have arrested more than 2,000 men for marrying or arranging marriages to underage girls, launching what the Eastern India State's chief minister said on Friday was the start of a sustained crackdown on the practice. Now, Assam's Director General of Police, GP Singh, said police began the arrest on Thursday night and more were likely in various districts. Well, Singh said from Thursday, police started taking action on the basis of first information report registered in different districts, and till 3 p.m. local time on Friday, the police have arrested a total of 2,044 people from different districts. Marriage under 18 is illegal in India, but the law is openly flouted. The United Nations estimates that the country is home to the largest number of child brides in the world at around 223 million. UN Children's Agency UNICEF said in a 2020 report that nearly 1.5 million underage girls get married there every year. Well, a handful of unhygienic pranks at sushi conveyor belt restaurants in Japan have sparked stock slumps, venue overhauls, and legal action, along with furious social media commentary. Several videos dubbed sushi terrorism have emerged on social media, including Twitter and TikTok in recent days, some of them apparently weeks or even years old. Well, in one viewed nearly 40 million times on Twitter, an apparently teenager customer licks the top of a communal soy sauce bottle and the rim of a teacup. He then places back on the shelf before licking his finger and touching a piece of sushi as it goes past the belt. The video, filmed at a branch of the Sushiro chain in the central Japanese city of Gifu, prompted stocks in the restaurant's parent company to plunge nearly 5%. Other videos emerged showing customers at different chains putting wasabi on passing pieces of sushi or licking the spoon in a communal green tea powder container. Now, though the incidents appear to be confined to just a few videos, they have caused an uproar in Japan, a country with famously high standards of cleanliness. In a statement, Sushiro said the teen behind the viral video had apologized along with his parents, but that the firm had filed a normal police complaint. Sushiro said all the soy sauce bottles at the affected store had been replaced and all the cups cleaned, and announced new restaurant policies. Well, authorities in El Salvador have opened one of Latin America's largest prisons, more than doubling the country's incarceration capacity as a government crackdown on criminal gangs is causing the prison population to soar. Now, the 40,000 capacity confinement center was inaugurated on Tuesday to help relieve some of the overpopulation in the country's prison system. Now, since March, the police and army have arrested more than 62,000 suspected gang members and their collaborators. And with nearly 2% of its adult population behind bars, El Salvador has the highest incarceration rate in the world. The rising inmate population as a result of the anti-gang measures, which the vast majority of the population supports, has stretched the country's already overwhelmed prison system. El Salvador's largest prison, La Esperanza, currently holds 33,000 people, despite having a capacity of only 10,000. Well, Salvadoran authorities said the new prison will span over 166 hectares, while 600 troops and 250 police officers will secure it. Coming up in sports, Hodak hopes City Boys will find shooting boots soon. Well, Malaysia's proud record of winning at least one title at the Thailand Masters in the past 3 editions has come to an end. Now, this comes after Ng Ziyong, the sole survivor in the Super 300 rated tournament, has been sent packing in the men's singles quarterfinals by Hong Kong's 4th seed Angus Ng Kalong yesterday. Now, Ziyong was beaten 21-14, 22-20 in 43 minutes. Now, as Kuala Lumpur City FC enter their 3rd pre-season friendly match by hosting the Federal Territories Ministers' Cup against Perak at the KLFA Stadium tonight, Coach Bojan Hodak expects a win. Now, the Croatian said in any games they play, the expectation is always to win, as victories builds confidence, something which is much needed, and the City Boys have not found their chemistry yet.
It's better always to win, because every game you win, players become better. So this will be, if possible, win. Second thing is, of course, that there's no injuries, and because we are preparing for the season, and I hope that we will give good games so that fans can enjoy, because it will be a good preparation for the season.
Hodak appeared to be slightly more relaxed than last season, as he has, on paper, better strikers this year. Now, meanwhile, Perak head coach Dato' Lim Tiong Kim said it feels good to be back and up against his former team. The former Bayern Munich youth coach said if Perak lose to KL tonight but play skillfully, he will not be angry.
Terhadap persembahan individu, persembahan Ya, itu yang paling penting pada saya. Results tu, this is secondary for me. My first thing is performance, players individual performance. Ya, dan selama ini boleh kata memang bagus persembahan mereka, ya, dan saya tidak ada masalah.
Well, the boss
saja
Gorus.
Mungkin cara-cara kita travelling berlainan sekarang kerana kita travel game day daripada Ipoh ke sini, game day, di mana mereka masih belum menyesuaikan diri mereka dengan cara begitu. Tapi sekarang kita ada masa lagi untuk trial and error.
Well, now the boss Goros look to Dato' Tiong Kim to revitalise them following their demotion to the Premier League in 2021. Well, I got caught there. And after 3 matches, Cristiano Ronaldo scored his first goal for Al Nassr with a last gasp penalty to salvage a 2-2 draw at Al Fateh in a Saudi Pro League match yesterday. Now, the 37-year-old Portugal international, a 5 times Ballon d'Or winner, converted from the spot 3 minutes into added time, having failed to score on his debut last month. Now, the results allowed Al Nassr to share the top spot of the Saudi Pro League with Al Shabab, but with a game in hand. It was Ronaldo's first goal in 3 matches after drawing blanks against both Ettifaq and Al Ittihad. Now, they next travel to Al Wehda on Thursday. The Portuguese superstar's transfer to Arab Saudi recently was sensational news across the world as Ronaldo signed a 2.5-year deal with Al Nassr in December, reported to be worth over 400 million euros. Now, this included 200 million euros to help Saudi Arabia to bid for hosting rights for the 2030 World Cup. Ronaldo was appointed captain shortly after his arrival at Al Nassr. Now, Arsenal midfielder Thomas Partey is still an injury doubt after feeling discomfort in his ribs in his last game, but has not been ruled out of action yet, according to manager Mikel Arteta. Partey came off at half-time during Arsenal's FA Cup loss at Manchester City last week, and Arteta had said at the time that he needed to undergo MRI scans after the Ghanaian revealed he could not continue. Now, with Mohamed El Neni also ruled out potentially for the rest of the season after undergoing knee surgery, Arsenal were forced to act in the transfer market and sign Jorginho from London rivals Chelsea on deadline day.
We knew that in this market you have to adapt and you have to be flexible and you have to be ready for inconvenience. We had a big one, obviously, with the latest news on Mo's injuries, and we needed a player in that position. It's a player that I always admire, a great character, someone is going to bring leadership and quality in the position, and is going to help the team a lot.
Well, Arsenal travel to Goodison Park for tonight's Premier League clash against Everton. Arteta's side haven't won away at the ground since 2017, and he's expecting a tough test after Everton appointed Sean Dyche as their new manager. Well, that concludes today's edition of Updates at Noon. In our top story, stern action against employer who replace local workers with foreigners. Till then, I'm Mohammed Amin Carlos. Thank you for watching.